There are a lot of good new holiday products on the Sephora website right now. I am shocked because, let's be honest, I feel like the past few years, holiday makeup at Sephora has been very, very hit and miss. I feel like there's been a lot more not worth it products than there have been things that have really excited me. But this year, I feel like my wish list is kind of packed and I want to talk about it with you guys. Obviously, we're not going to be talking about everything new at Sephora today, just the things that I am particularly pretty interested in looking into, and or some of the sets or the kits or the value products that I think you guys might be interested in as well. So let's run through them because I'm very excited. And as always, everything will be linked in the description box down below for you guys, as well as in YouTube shopping if you guys want to browse and peruse the Sephora website along with me. Let's start by talking about the shade extension of the new Patrick Ta eyeshadow duos. Oh, you guys know how big of a fan I am of these eyeshadow duos. I actually have a full review video on the original 5 shades that launched, I think it was holiday of last year. So in my head, it does make complete sense for him to actually extend this shade range because those original duos definitely had a lot of buzz online, whether it be for good or bad. People were definitely talking about them. I was definitely talking about them. I know a lot of people were talking about them, whether it be the actual quality of the product or the price of the product. Price tag is unfortunately one of those things that I feel like is just so subjective nowadays. Prices of everything are going up, but luckily the shade extension of these eyeshadow duos are the same price as the original 5 that we saw, which is $42. Obviously pricey for an eyeshadow duo to begin with, so it would have really been unfortunate to see a price increase on those. So we didn't get a price increase, but we did get 4 more shades. The shades we've got here are Slow Burn, Always on Your Mind, In Your Dreams, and When the Sun Sets. All of them are fairly neutral. A couple of them do look pretty similar to shades that are already in the original lineup. So I am curious to go into Sephora and actually swatch these out, see how different, especially some of those lighter duos are from the ones we already have. I imagine they're going to be different. Obviously, I don't think he's going to release an eyeshadow duo that is damn near super similar to one that's already out, but based on the pictures, it is hard to tell what color the reflex in these duos are actually going to be. I will say the Slow Burn duo might be coming home with me because that is exactly the type of shade that I have been absolutely obsessing over. Kind of a darker, coppery, almost verging on cranberry, but not quite red type of duo. Love this shade extension. It makes complete sense to me that he would release more, and I love that he's releasing them in colors that I feel like the majority of people would actually be interested in. You know, like there's no blue, there's no green, there's not another hot pink. Crazy for Patrick Ta. We're definitely getting some neutrals, which I'm very excited about personally. I think we just have to go ahead and talk about it. I want to talk about the new Pat McGrath holiday collection. This is her Gilded Nirvana collection for 2025. I have to say, for the first time in a while, I'm actually interested in a Pat McGrath holiday collection. I haven't been interested in anything that Pat McGrath has done for the holidays in probably like 3 years now. So to actually get something that I'm pretty excited about is really cool. And I will say this 12-pan eyeshadow palette obviously was the first thing that caught my eye. Now I know that none of these shades are going to be the Pat McGrath special formula. I don't know if she made it explicitly clear or if I'm just like having a Mandela effect moment or something, but I feel like the brand came out and said that they're not doing those special shades anymore. I think that's kind of been the trend. They had kind of phased them out even in the like larger mothership palettes over time. I think coincidentally they had been being phased out once Pat McGrath got acquired. I think that's classic big business capitalism working against the rest of us makeup lovers, because honestly the Pat McGrath special shades in my opinion are kind of what put her eyeshadows on the map. So to not have that formula around anymore is unfortunate. Obviously the reason they got rid of it is because it's an expensive formula to manufacture, and I imagine that formula just took extra extra time even in the manufacturing process because it wasn't really in a pan. I believe it was kind of poured into the palette and then baked or something. So I imagine there was an additional step that had to be done during manufacturing, which probably also just made that formula not sustainable when we're talking big business. And they're obviously trying to, they're trying to cut the fat. They're trying to save a penny, okay, up in here. So I knew those shadows they weren't going to be around very long, which unfortunately has been the case. We haven't seen them in a palette in a while. We've never really seen them in the bigger holiday palettes from Pat McGrath. I do still have those Pat McGrath holiday quads that actually were all special shades. I still own those quads. I actually have one of the shadows on my lids today. You can't get it anymore, obviously, but it is so freaking pretty, I just have to admit. Anyway, back to Gilded Nirvana. So this 12 shade eyeshadow palette actually looks pretty. I like that they're doing something different than they've done before. I feel like so many times a lot of makeup brands are just recycling and regurgitating the same palette in the same format in the same collection, holiday season after holiday season. And it's kind of like, guys, we've been there. We've done that. We've seen it. We probably own it 4 times over. So thank God for Pat McGrath actually coming out with something different this year. And again, all of these shades I think are shimmery. It's possible that there's 1 or 2 mattes in this palette based on the pictures that I'm seeing right now, which are really just sneak peek pictures. It's kind of hard to tell, but I do think that it looks pretty. I think that gold that's swatched out on that finger looks freaking delicious. I want to eat that freaking eyeshadow. I'm telling you, it looks so good. I will say that even though Pat McGrath is not doing her special shadows anymore, her super sparkly metallic shadows, while they're closer to a traditional eyeshadow formula, they're still pretty good. I do have to say they're still pretty decent shadows. But yeah, I would say the closest coincidentally to a Pat McGrath special shadow, if that is what you're seeking, are going to be the Pat McGrath eyeshadow duos. Wait, not Pat McGrath. I meant Patrick Ta. I meant the Patrick Ta eyeshadow duos that we just talked about earlier. Those are going to be the closest formula that I have personally experienced that you can currently get on the market that are the most similar to Pat McGrath's special shades. Anyway, back to Gilded Nirvana. Sorry, I keep going off on tangents. I feel like we haven't talked makeup. We haven't talked makeup in a while, so I'm so excited. For some odd reason, she's also bringing back this sequin packaging. If you guys have been around on the makeup market for a while, this looks very familiar to you. This is essentially a relaunch of one of Pat McGrath's OG makeup products, and I actually did do an unboxing of a couple of these sets back in the day. And while yes, the sequin packaging, it's definitely, she was trying to do something with that one. Personally, I think we could have done without this. I just kind of think it's a waste of packaging, to be honest, but it's different. And this gold #1 pigment was one of Pat McGrath's original launches that again really just put her brand name on the map. I think I do own this gold pigment. I could be wrong, but for some reason, I'm pretty sure I own it. I'm pretty sure I bought this exact kit when it came out the first time. And I think it's pretty. I will say the packaging, even of the actual products within it, like this actual gold eyeshadow, that packaging is even worse than e.l.f. packaging. If it's the same as what it used to be, if it's a genuine relaunch and there were no upgrades made, and that includes upgraded packaging, this is, even e.l.f. wouldn't release this packaging, I'm gonna be honest. I think there are some blush stick duos. These might be mini blush stick duos that are coming out too. Again, it's hard to tell based on these kind of initial promo pictures that we have here. So I am curious to see what else is in this Gilded Nirvana collection. But I will say, based on what we've already seen, I'm kind of excited. I have to admit, I'm kind of excited about it. Okay, this was one of the first holiday collections that was sneak peeked on Trend Mood, where I was kind of like, okay, holiday 2025 is bringing it. This is the NARS holiday collection. You guys, this actually looks so freaking cute. I don't know why, but when I saw this collection as a whole, I felt a little nostalgic for like 2017, 2018 2018 beauty collections. You know, there was something about this that I was like, it sort of reminds me of old school MAC collections that would come out. There's just something so beautiful and synchronized about this packaging that I think just gives me a little bit of butterflies. I don't know. I just really, really love this. I also think just overall, objectively, it looks like elevated Urban Decay packaging. If you guys are familiar with the Urban Decay lineup, you guys know they release this colored packaging, this kind of purple, bluish, multi-chrome type packaging pretty often in their line. But I feel like, especially recently, a lot of times it's just looked cheap when Urban Decay has done it. There's just something about this NARS one. It could be the texture. It could be that kind of like, I don't even know what you would call it. It almost, I don't want to say, it's not like a glass shatter. It's almost like a light ray or something. I'm not sure, but it looks very, very nice, very pretty, very elevated. They did a really good job bringing in a color scheme, at least just to the packaging, that's kind of playful and fun, but it doesn't look cheap or childish. And that's kind of a hard line to walk. And I think NARS did a really good job with this collection. There are so many products in this collection. And I also want to say it is a collaboration with the artist Iris Van Herpen. I'm not familiar with the artist, but they did a really good job, I have to admit. You've got two cheek palettes, both of which look really pretty. That darker one with the brighter pinks, I don't know why. I'm not even necessarily a hot pink or bright pink blush girly, but my goodness, there's something about those colors in that packaging. It looks really freaking pretty. It does look really, really pretty. They also released a couple of like illuminators or highlighters. There's a prismatic powder, a face and body powder, an afterglow lip shine. I mean, there's like a lot in this collection. You've even got a lipstick. So lots of stuff to pick from. And again, the packaging really got me with this one. Okay, I don't think this next launch is actually technically a holiday launch for Natasha Denona. I think it's more of a fall launch, but I want to talk about it because I'm actually kind of interested in these. This is the Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone eyeshadow palette. She released two different variations. There's the soft one and the dramatic one. Honestly, they both look so freaking pretty. I don't know if these are permanent. I think they should be. They should be permanent parts of Natasha Denona's makeup line if I was, again, just throwing my 2 cents out there. To me, the dramatic palette feels like the upgraded and elevated version of the Biba palette. I still have and love that Biba palette, by the way. I still use that palette often, like often. I will reach for it because it's a really good, well-rounded eyeshadow palette. And I feel like this is kind of the upgraded version. This is kind of the elevated version. It feels a little bit more compact, but you're still getting full-sized eyeshadows. You're also getting an excellent range of colors. I love that specifically in this dramatic palette, you're not getting too many light colors. That is one of my biggest gripes with eyeshadow palettes, is especially when a brand releases a light version of a palette and then a deeper version of the palette, but the deeper version of the palette, more than half the palette is light. To me, it doesn't even make sense. It's like, why are you releasing a deeper palette when I can barely use half of those shades, or half of them are all gonna look the same on me? Because a lot of times a lighter eyeshadow is going to look the same on me. So I love the variety within this palette. Like, you've got a couple of lighter shades to, you know, add some highlight and some contrast, but you've got a decent amount of medium tone shades, which are the ones I use the most, and then you've got a couple of darker shades. I think this is a really good, well-rounded palette. I feel similarly with the soft palette as well, which is the lighter one of the two. I do think the soft palette probably, maybe not. I don't know. I can't quite tell just based on how it's laid out, but I just like looked at it and thought the soft palette had more matte shades. It might, I'm not quite sure, but regardless, I still think the soft palette is very pretty. Again, I think for people with medium to lighter skin tone, this is such a good palette. Again, it has a really nice range of colors. You've got warm, you've got cool, you know, you've got everything in here. So I do think these are both really pretty, and I think they're really appropriate for the different skin tones they were essentially made for. Okay, I want to quickly touch on this because this is a launch that Charlotte Tilbury has done holiday season after holiday season. And to be completely honest, I've never been very interested in them. These Instant Look in a palettes, these have come out, I don't know, I want to say maybe for like 8 years now, 10 years now. I don't know. Literally since the dawn of time, I remember an Instant Look in a palette. Charlotte Tilbury has really she's taken things that are very appropriately her brand and just ran with it. So we've seen this a lot. I will say initially we were only seeing it in one color variation, which obviously leaned light. Now we're seeing it in these 2 color variations, one of which, again, the deeper of which, I think actually it looks very pretty. Not to say the light one doesn't look pretty, but the lighter one is clearly not made for my skin tone. Like that is not gonna show up on me. That's gonna look chalky as hell. However, for people who are lighter skin tone, I actually think this also looks very pretty. Like it has a nice range of pinks. You definitely have to be into pinks though, obviously. But the deeper one that I can personally speak on and that I might actually pick up for myself, which is kind of crazy to say, actually looks gorgeous. I even think those 2 highlighter shades actually look really pretty. And that almost like purpley toned berry blush, like wow. I actually think she did a really good job with this. Of course, you're getting a couple of classic Charlotte Tilbury pink blushes because of course you are. But the fact that you're even getting something kind of purpley like that to me is pretty unique for Charlotte Tilbury, especially in a palette. These are $69, which not cheap, but I feel like they've been around that price tag for a while now. So again, they haven't increased in price, at least not significantly. So always appreciate that. But oh wait, did I literally I'm so confused. Okay, you guys, I didn't realize this. This was my own bad. Obviously looking at the picture of the palette, I was just looking at the swatches. I don't know why. I was literally just sitting here looking at the pictures of the swatches and being like, oh my God, that purple blush looks so freaking pretty. Guys, it's an eyeshadow. It's an eyeshadow. Why did I not just look at the layout of the freaking palette? I did all this research and pulled all these assets yesterday. And from yesterday till sitting down today, I completely forgot that this is a freaking multi-face palette. So obviously that purple is an eyeshadow. I'm over here thinking Charlotte Tilbury did something so radical by releasing a purple blush. I thought she released a purple blush and I literally was like, oh my God, Charlotte, like that's crazy. You're doing something so unique and revolutionary for your brand. No, she's not. No, she's not. She released a purple eyeshadow, like every other brand has a purple eyeshadow. Okay, reconfiguring. We're reconfiguring everything I said in the last clip. I think, I think it's still pretty. I still think it's pretty. I just, obviously you can use that on your cheeks. If you want to use the purple on your cheeks, like I kind of do, like looking at it swatched out, I want to use the purple on my cheeks. Oh, Charlotte, she got me good with that one. Okay. Okay, here's another launch that I can't tell if this is holiday or if this is fall, but regardless, for the first time probably ever, I've actually been interested in these Gisou lip oils. They did a good job with this little shade extension here. These are the 3 new honey infused hydrating lip oils. You've got vanilla glaze, sticky toffee, and milky mocha. I'm hoping that these smell like what they say they're gonna be like vanilla, toffee, and mocha. Yeah, I want all of those on my lips. Like I literally want all of them on my lips. I think realistically, those darker two, the sticky toffee and the milky mocha. Am I saying that right? Sticky toffee and milky mocha. I feel like the toffee is getting just blah, 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 jumbled in my mouth. Okay, they both look pretty. It is a relatively sheer lip oil, so realistically, do I need both? Probably not, but I might actually take this opportunity to try this formula for the first time. None of the other colors or scents or anything that they've launched has super appealed to me. I think they had a watermelon one. I don't know if it's still there, but they had a watermelon one once upon a time, and that scent almost sucked me in. However, being a gourmand girly, being a dessert lover, I think that milky mocha might get me. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like milky mocha on my mouth? Yes, please. It comes in the classic Gisou packaging, which again is really pretty. I like the overall vibe of these. I love the marketing pictures of these. So yeah, For the first time, I'm actually interested in a Gisou lip oil. Crazy. Okay, this next collection, which was actually inspired by a fragrance that Tom Ford released. This collection is the Vanilla Sex collection, inspired obviously by the Tom Ford Vanilla Sex fragrance. I think this fragrance did surprisingly well for Tom Ford, despite it not being my personal favorite vanilla. It definitely had a little bit of a lived in, I don't want to say BO, but almost like a little bit of a sweaty, lived in, very carnal vanilla vibe. Does that make sense? I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down, but it's not quite the vanillas I prefer to wear. I'm definitely a true gourmand girly. Like, give me a vanilla cookie, give me a vanilla like ice cream milkshake, give me all the sugar. Anyway, back to the makeup collection. Tom Ford released a full line under this Vanilla Sex umbrella. First off, you've got the highlighter, which is $100 Tom Ford highlighter. I mean, it's Tom Ford, so we knew the prices were gonna be a little crazy with this one, but this actually looks like a really pretty, slightly bronzed golden highlight. It also looks like it's in that baked formula that Tom Ford does often, and I have to admit, I do love that formula. It's so smooth, it's not heavy, it doesn't emphasize texture or pores on the skin. It is a really beautiful formula that they do. Now, $100 worth, I don't know about all of that, but it is very pretty. They also released 2 matte lipsticks, which surprisingly enough, these are not nude colors. I don't know why, when I just imagined Vanilla Sex and based on the packaging of the original Vanilla Sex fragrance, I just imagined the whole collection was gonna be very light nude. And that's not the way they went, which I'm very, very happy with, because these lipsticks, both of them, look like they would work on my skin tone. One is definitely a little bit more brown, one's a little bit more pink. They're more neutrally toned, but they are like mid-toned, if not marginally verging darker, which I'm not going to complain about, because again, with a high-end or luxury, this isn't even high-end, this is luxury makeup. With a luxury makeup collection, I feel like oftentimes the colors tend to lean light. There are also 2 shades of their lip glosses, which again, both look beautiful. It looks like I could actually wear both of them and neither one is going to come across like a freaking milk mustache on me. What a miracle, honestly. Again, one is a little bit more like reddish and one's a little bit more mauvey pinkish. There's also a compact in this picture. I'm not sure what's in the actual compact. Refillable cushion compact case, not in the US. I guess it doesn't matter. I can't get access to it anyways. I wanted to include this Tom Ford collection because again, it's the first time in a really long time that a luxury makeup brand has actually interested me. Like, the full collection is actually interesting. It's actually something I think I could wear and use. They all look like very pretty, like just wearable shades that again will actually show up on my skin tone, and that's amazing, actually. Okay, you knew we weren't going to be making it through this video without talking about the new Hourglass Ambient Lighting Unlocked palettes. They actually have 4 of them this year, you guys. We're like really expanding. I'm very happy about that, to be completely honest. I know I've talked about this year after year. I have been doing Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit palette reviews. Like, I did them when these palettes originally came out. It might have been, what, maybe 2016, maybe 2017, but I had been doing reviews on those palettes year after year. Initially, it was only 1 that came out. Then it was kind of like 1 and then like a limited edition one that were both pretty light in color. And then over the years, they've slowly expanded. Like, they'll release 2, one that's a little bit lighter, one that's a little bit deeper. And then for a couple years, they had 3. There was kind of like a light, a medium, and a deep. And now we have 4, which thank goodness. Like, thank goodness, because for years now, I've always said that I do love the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palettes. They're really, really good. This formula is so nice. It's unlike any other powder formula on the market, which is so fascinating to me, at least unlike anything I've ever tried. Okay, I don't want to say it's like literally the only one in existence, but I've never tried a formula that's quite like this. The powders are so silky smooth. They blend and lay on the skin effortlessly. You'll never get like harsh lines. They're not difficult to blend. They just look so natural on the skin for being a powder product. And I think there's a reason why Hourglass keeps releasing these palettes year after year. Clearly they sell, clearly they work. This is one of the best-selling products in the Hourglass permanent line, like this particular formula is. And I understand why. I mean, it's a really, really good product. I actually pulled out, I'm not even kidding you guys, I pulled out an ambient lighting palette that I think I bought back in like 2018 to do my makeup today. Not even kidding. But I have a bronzer, a little bit of a lightly glowy highlight, and a blush. And they're all the ambient lighting powders, and beautiful. Beautiful, like stunning, couldn't have any complaints. I'm telling you, my 7-year-old palette is still going strong. We're going strong on it, you guys. Anyways, back to the ones that they released this year. You know, the ones that aren't expired, that you can actually probably legitimately put on your face without breaking out. From lighter option to deeper option, we've got this Deer palette, which is definitely very, very light. However, I mean, if you are light skin, this is going to be amazing. This is such a tangent, but I figured if we're gonna ramble, we may as well just ramble in this video, right? For those of you guys who don't know or aren't aware, I am not a trained makeup artist. I just do makeup because I love it and because it's fun, and I am self-taught, and I taught myself to do it on my own face. I don't typically do makeup on other people. I mean, I will if somebody asks me, but it's really just on like friends, family members, stuff like that. So recently, one of my best friends, who is very, very, very light, asked me to do her makeup, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, of course, like I would love to experiment on you. You have the most gorgeous freaking skin. And let me just say, that was the first time I really appreciated and understood why they make these extraordinarily light colors. Because for me, I mean, more is more, you know, like I want more pigment. I want it to be like a punch you in your face. I would rather dip in very lightly and then blend across my cheeks. And for me and my skin tone, that works okay. You know, more pigment is typically not going to be the downfall of my makeup. However, when you are very, very, very light, too much pigment will be the downfall of your makeup look, okay? Let me just say that was a very, very interesting experiment / learning experience for Ishani. I think there is nothing like getting your hands on different people's face, whether that be different skin tones, different facial structures, different eye types, eye shapes. This is coming from experience, okay? This is coming from personal experience of doing makeup. And I was like, oh, more is not more. More is absolutely not more. And yes, while the top 3 colors, back to the Hourglass palette, the top 3 colors in this palette all look very, very, let's be honest, marginally similar. There is a skin tone out there that this would work for, and this would actually be their perfect face palette. So I appreciate that Hourglass made this. That's all I have to say with that. Okay, moving on to the Swan palette. This is, of course, the classic medium toned Hourglass palette. Really, really beautiful. I actually think a lot of these colors would work on me. I have noticed that the medium tone of the Hourglass ambient lighting palettes tends to work for me. So I actually think this would be a really pretty palette on my skin tone, as would this Fox palette. I really like this Fox palette. I actually kind of like the packaging on this Fox palette as well, and the colors inside are just delicious. So good. I think this is such a pretty palette, again, with those deeper bronzer shades and the blush shades. I mean, again, that purpley berry blush. Oh my goodness. And this one's actually a blush, you guys. This isn't an eyeshadow pretending to be a blush. Like this is an actual blush. And then this last palette, which apparently is a Sephora exclusive palette. This is the Horse palette, which again, I think the packaging on this one's really pretty too. And this is kind of another medium toned Hourglass palette. If I'm being honest and looking at them all next to each other, do you need all 4 of them? Obviously not. I mean, there are enough overlap in some of these that you don't need all of them, but I think Hourglass did a pretty decent job with their offerings this year, just in terms of the tone variety. So, you know, actually interested in getting my hands on one of those. Okay, I want to quickly touch on this Summer Fridays set because there is something about this holiday trio that did kind of catch my eye. This is the holiday trio set with the lip butter balm in hot cocoa and toasted marshmallow, and you get a deluxe sample size of their original fan favorite jet lag mask. The two lip balms are their classic lip butter balm formula, which is probably one of, if not the #1 seller for Summer Fridays. And I believe that toasted marshmallow shade in particular is new, maybe? It's definitely limited edition, as is the hot cocoa one. And this is cute. I mean, this is cute. They did a good job with releasing, a hot cocoa and a toasted marshmallow. You can obviously layer them if you want. You could definitely use them individually. Both of the lip balms are full sizes, as I think they should be given the price of this set. It is $48, which I believe each lip butter balm is $24 individually. So essentially you're paying for each of the lip butter balms in full price, and then you're getting the deluxe sample size of the jet lag mask. Sorry, my leg is asleep. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm like over here struggling, bro. Wake up. We've got stuff to talk about. We've got holiday stuff to talk about. We don't got time for you to be on pins and needles. Ooh, okay. Let's try to get back to Summer Fridays. Essentially, you're paying full price for both of those lip butter balms, and then you're getting the jet lag mask as a free sample. As you should, because this is a sample size of the jet lag mask, and I feel like they're constantly giving away free samples of this stuff. And I do like the jet lag mask. I actually did purchase it at a Sephora sale maybe 2 years back, and I really do like that. It's a good, like, thicker, hydrating moisturizer. So I do recommend it, but I also really do like the lip butter balms overall. And I think more than anything, I'm really, really into these particular scents, flavors. You guys know I'm a gourmand girly. So the fact that these are both really edible and like hot cocoa and marshmallows, like, yes, please. Okay, I want to quickly touch on this OUAI gift set here. This is their St. Barts hair and body mist gift set. So this gift set comes with a full-size OUAI St. Barts leave-in conditioner, the St. Barts hair and body mist, and the St. Barts hair oil. You know what? I said the name of that set wrong. It's the hair and body mist, leave-in conditioner, and hair oil gift set. I just read the first part of it and just didn't want to read the rest, but now that I'm reading the products in it, it makes sense why I was supposed to read the rest. Okay, anyways, this is a $66 kit, which I think is pretty decently priced considering all three of these are full sizes. Obviously, OUAI St. Barts, it's a fan favorite. So many people love this. One of my best friends, Lauren, is obsessed with the St. Barts scent, and I understand why. It's a really, really good, like, beachy, fruity scent without going classic sunscreen beachy. Like, it's actually a unique tropical scent, which I feel like we don't see that very often. We're always getting something that has like a neroli in it or something that's low-key sunscreeny or orange blossomy. Like, that's what a lot of the summer scents tend to go towards, if not a coconut or a pineapple or something like that. But the St. Barts is almost like this passion fruit flower, but not overly floral. It's just so good. If you haven't smelled it, you just have to go in person and smell it because it is a unique tropical scent. And I know we're going into the holidays. I know this is the holiday kit, so I'm sure you're thinking like a tropical scent, like, do we need that right now? It's still, in my opinion, a semi-year-round scent, while I'm probably not wearing, something like this during the winter time, because obviously I'm pulling out my literal cookie butter indulgent perfumes. I think there are definitely people out there that would wear this year round. Like, it's a really pretty, could be a signature scent, but just definitely really nice. And even if you do only wear it during the summer, a good time to snatch it up and stock up for next summer, I guess. Okay, I want to go ahead and touch on a couple of fragrances that we have, either new fragrances that are coming out or fragrance sets that are specifically for the holiday. So first off, we have the new Phlur body mist, and Phlur has been they have been the fast fashion of the fragrance world recently, okay? They have released so many freaking perfumes and body mists. I just can't keep up. I can't keep up. But this vanilla blackberry one that just launched, I think think it's their newest launch. I'm pretty sure it's their newest launch. This actually is intriguing to me. I'm not particularly a berry fragrance lover, but the vanilla note obviously has me interested. It says that it has blackberry, raspberry, and black currant, as well as creamy vanilla. So I am interested. I'm curious to know how actually like edible gourmand this is going to go, or if they're going to include some like florals in there to not make it go too edible, because this could go, you know, like berry dessert from Costco. Like, you know what I'm talking about? The like berry sundae vanilla ice cream dessert concoction that Costco has. Or it could go like berry fruity floral, where you wouldn't put a spoon near that, you know, like you don't want to eat that. It's pretty to wear it, it's pretty to smell it in someone's hair or on their body, but you're not trying to just lick it up, you know. So we'll see, but I am curious to sniff this. And you know, Phlur has been killing it with the launches lately, I have to say. Okay, for the first time, at least that I'm aware, we're seeing a Forever Mood mini perfume sampler set, and this is so cute. I just have to say, like, look at these mini bottles. They look adorable. I love when a fragrance company makes something mini but puts it in the original bottle shape, so it still looks specialty. It feels like you're still getting a little bit of the taste of the experience if you were to buy the full-size bottle, but obviously you're not having to invest, you know, in a full-size bottle. This mini sampler set is $70, so not cheap, but you are getting 5 of their scents, which, if I'm not wrong, I think is all 5 of the Forever Mood scents. A couple things I want to make clear. I'm not sure if these are dabber bottles or if these are atomizer sprays. I mean, in the description, it says like 5 moods, 1 main character, you spray on self-confidence and step boldly into your power. So it says spray, but it's not explicitly clear that it's a spray, you know? So I almost wouldn't be surprised if it's a dabber bottle, although it is Jackie Aina, and I feel like Jackie has our backs with this one. I feel like she's not going to release these in dabber bottles, because that would be savage on her part. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she's not going to do us dirty like that. I'm just going to go into the mindset that these are sprays. I'm just going to pretend that they're sprays. I don't know for sure, but I'm just going to pretend they are. But in here, you're getting all 5 of her fragrances. You're getting I Am Her, Hard to Get, You Remind Me, NDA, and She Was Here. Oh, these are only 3 ml bottles. Is that right? Hold on a second, you guys. Okay. I'm zooming in. No, this says 5 ml. Okay. I think Sephora is wilding out right now. Again, I did my research yesterday, but in the set description, like the written description on the Sephora website, it says that these are 0.17 ounce or 3 ml bottles, which, to put that into perspective, a typical travel size atomizer spray has 10 ml. So 3 ml is tiny, like exceptionally tiny, okay? Like a third of a travel size tiny. But then when I'm actually like zooming into the actual picture of the item, the picture description, like I'm literally zoomed in, it says 0.17 ounces or 5 ml. So, interesting. I guess let's see, what is 0.17 ounces into mil? All right, Google, 0.17 ounces to milliliters. Yeah, 5 mil. Okay, Sephora, you're wilding out right now. You're really undercutting Jackie here. They are 5 mils, which is still small. Again, keep in mind, a typical travel size has 10 mils in it. So this is half of that. If you want to break down the math, essentially you're getting 2.5 travel-sized vials of perfume in here, since you're getting 5 bottles and each bottle is, you know, half a travel size. You know, we did the math there. And this set being $70, if you're dividing that by 2.5 travel vials, essentially you're paying $28 per travel vial. So essentially $28 per 10 milliliters. That's kind of high, I would say, especially considering the size of Jackie Aina's full-size bottles. This is definitely not a bargain. Like, you're not getting a bargain here. You're not getting necessarily a good value, I would say. It says $100 value. I don't know about all of that. I don't know. If you wanted to try these, this might be a good opportunity to do it. You're getting to try all 5 of her scents, the whole line, for $70. But do keep in mind, these are small. Like, these are small sample bottles, but the little bottles are so cute. But also, I don't know if they're sprays. I don't know. A lot of questions that I brought up here. We'll just have to wait and see on that one, I think. Okay, and then the final holiday launch I wanted to discuss is the Kayali Sweet Obsessions mini perfume set. I want to do a little quick comparison with this Kayali one and the Forever Mood one, but this Kayali one has 4 travel size fragrances. Again, you're getting the mini bottles, which are just so cute, but these are the actual like full-sized mini bottles that Kayali sells. Did that even make sense? These are not full size. These are the travel bottles, but Kayali does sell these exact bottles in this exact size. Out of the 4 scents you're getting, 3 of them are more vanillic gourmands, which I'm really excited about. You're getting the Vanilla 28, which is a classic Kayali. You're also getting the Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar, number 42. You're getting their new Bougie Marshmallow, number 81. And you're getting the Phlur Majesty Rose Royale, which is 31. So you're getting a couple of their newer ones. I feel like we haven't seen a set quite like this that has so many vanilla-based Kayali perfumes in it. And these travel sizes are the full 10 ml travel size bottles, which again, you can actually purchase these bottles for $32 a piece on the Kayali website or on the Sephora website. So to get all 4 of them for $100, while upfront, obviously this set is more expensive than the Forever Mood one that we just talked about, you are getting more value in this set just in terms of product, you know, because technically you're going to be paying $25 per travel size or per 10 mil, basically. If we're breaking it down by mil, you're paying $25 per 10 mil in this set. However, in the Forever Mood set that we just talked about, you're paying $28 per 10 mil. So you're paying a little bit more of a premium, but you're getting to try the full line with the Forever Mood one versus in this Kayali one, you obviously have to like vanillas. Otherwise, this is not going to be a useful kit to you. But for me, I think this one is really interesting. Although I do already have a full size of Yum Bougie, and I did sell off my Vanilla 28 actually. I sold it on Mercari because it wasn't my favorite vanilla. It's not a classic gourmand vanilla like what I like to wear. So I think I might have talked myself out of actually purchasing this kit, but I do think it's cute. And I think if you want to try a handful of the Kayali vanilla fragrances, this is a good way to do it. So there we have it, you guys. Those were all of the makeup collections, products, holiday sets that I'm actually kind of interested in. Shockingly, I think that holiday 2025 is making a comeback, and I'm actually here for it. I would love to know what you guys have your eyes on with the upcoming holiday collections. Is there anything that you're planning on purchasing? Is there something that you want to go in person and smell or swatch? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know what you guys want to get your hands on. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to stick around on my channel, I might have some more content coming up for you. Definitely subscribe. And yeah, other than that, I will chat with you guys very soon. I'll see you then. Bye.